Auburn sweeps the Florida State Seminoles in Pensacola, Florida in a little fall ball doubleheader. Let's talk about it. Yeah, man. What's up, Auburn family? Dustin Smith and Blake Lane back with another episode of the Up Tempo podcast. Blake, let's talk a little baseball, buddy. Haven't got to do this in a while. I know you love that.
Yeah, man, Dustin, I'm super pumped. I liked what I saw Saturday from the Auburn Tigers. Anytime you go up against a historical program like the Florida State Seminoles and you get a chance to compete against an ACC powerhouse, and you take two from them. You didn't go down there and split. It seemed like you were pretty dominant down there. And I think a big thing for Auburn is you wanted to see a dominant outing from your pitching staff. And you last year you had so many problems with starters not being able to make it 2-3 innings deep. You're getting into your bullpen really early, and you're having to use key arms early in series, and not having enough pitching left for that Sunday rubber match maybe, and things like that, man. You just gave up a lot of runs. You walked a lot of people, and it just seemed like the pitching staff could never get on track last year. So you wanted to see in this fall ball matchup against a great Florida State program, that pitching staff get going early and be dominant. And I thought that's what we saw, Dustin.
Yeah, absolutely, Blake. Really did. They only walked 4, struck out 20, I do believe. I'll double check that in a second. But yeah, just looked in command. They managed the situations well. Anytime that there was, anytime they did get into trouble, they handled it and got out of it. A lot of new arms, Blake. Thank God we had a roster because a lot of new guys to keep up with. A lot of new faces, man. And in the fall ball situation, nobody ever really got more than like an inning and a half. They really were
Yep.
trying everybody else. I thought Hayden Murphy looked good. And starting out the game, let's see, what is it? We've got a new guy. Hold on just a second. Yeah, Blake. So I thought Cade Fisher, he started game one, right? And he was really impressive. He pitched 1.2 scoreless innings, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He retired 5 of the 7 batters he faced. He had good stuff. Hayden Murphy looked really strong. And then in game two, Mobile boy Connor Gatewood came in. And I got to tell you, that 6'5", 200-pound frame, he looked good, man. The stuff looked good. You could immediately tell, like, okay, there's definitely something here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad to see him get in there and close the game out. And in that game too, Auburn had taken a lead, or like an early lead, had scored 7-8 runs in the second inning. We're up 9-1. Florida State started coming back, and then Hayden Murphy came in there and kind of shut it down, and then Connor came in there as well and cleaned it up. So that was good to see. So yeah, man, just and one thing that Butch really talked about in the post game was the atmosphere. The largest crowd in Blue Wahoo's history. Over 7,000 people were in the ballpark. I would say that it was probably 70% Florida State to 30% Auburn. They did the stupid little tomahawk chop, and that definitely kind of they kind of let everybody know that it was a pro Florida State crowd in there. But anytime that they did it, man, Auburn made the plays. But Butch talked about he said I can't recreate this atmosphere, is what he told me in the post game. He said for a fall ball game, this is to be going up against an ACC team in a packed house and a raucous crowd like this. He said you just can't replicate it. So just a big time weekend for Auburn overall, man. Big time city, big time weekend for my hometown. Look at the view right there, Blake. Like
They
that's
killed
the
it.
that's the view from the press box, man. So just a really great weekend. Everything was really well organized. Shout out to the Blue Wahoos. Shout out to the city of Pensacola. I know the boys went and hung out with the Navy guys on the Navy base. Blake, we had a flyover. One of the pilots was an Auburn alum. The other pilot was a Florida State alum. They brought them on the field to throw out the pitches for the second game. So that was really cool, man. Just
That's it.
an awesome weekend. And to be honest with you, man, we kicked ass. We really did.
Yeah, Dustin, I wanted to ask you about the offense. I see right here you put up 13 runs in 2 games. Give me some guys who really showed up and showed out and swung it well for the Auburn Tigers.
Okay, well, Ike Irish is Ike Irish.
Yeah,
So there's no. So he ripped 2 doubles. You got nothing to worry about there. He was putting them in the bay damn near during batting practice. So
yeah,
he's still doing his thing. He looks as good as ever. Looks like he's put on a few pounds. He looks solid, kind of standing up next to him. Our boy Cooper was hurt. He didn't get to play. He had a brace on his arm. But we know that he's going to be a big time power hitter. But yeah, so Ike looked like Ike. This kid, I haven't, last name I might butcher, but Eric Guevara.
yeah,
He played third base. He had some good ABs, man. He was really patient. He worked a couple walks. He had a couple of nice hits, and he flashed his glove. He was really, really nice out there at 3B. And then, but the star of the day, man, was the hometown boy, the freshman from Pensacola Catholic High, Chris Rembert. He had 3 hits, 2 doubles, and a triple. 4 RBIs on the day. He was clutch, man. In that second game, I got the clip right here, Blake, where base is juiced. At this point, Florida State's leading the game 2-1, and he just kind of busted open right here.
mm,
And he talked about after the game, just hometown, first time ever putting on the college uniform, and to have that kind of day. And look at the wheels. I mean, the kid can
yeah,
move, man. He is he's a stud. It's something to be excited for. Blake is. This was in game 1. This is his first hit. Ike rips a double down the first base line the previous at bat here. So Ike's out there standing on second.
hmm.
What's 1-2 punch right here? This could be deadly coming into the season. Chris
Love
slap
that.
ones. Yep.
What a
Brings Ike
swing.
around. Nice double. So yeah, man, it's just it's in the way that we saw Ike, and we immediately knew, like, oh, this, even as a freshman, we can expect this guy to hit 300. We can expect this guy to do big things. We
Yeah,
found that guy in Chris, and Butch was talking before the game. He wasn't really shying away from expectations for Chris. He
yeah,
said we expect him to play, and we expect him to play well in the way that Ike did as a freshman. He's going to be a big part of the team, and you would have thought Bobby Pierce was out there because he was playing left field. Guy rounds third, and he hoses him. I mean, it was on an absolute rope. Got him at home. So he showed the base paths. He flashed a glove. He flashed the arm. And then he just killed it at the plate. And that combination of Ike batting right in front of him, and I'm wondering where Cooper could fit in back there with the power when he gets healthy. It's exciting, man.
yeah. That's one thing that I am excited for is when I see Rembert do something like this. Let's not shy away from it. He was a perfect game guy.
Mm.
And anytime you get a guy to campus and they go through the perfect game process, and they're highly ranked in those ranking systems, you're damn proud to get them on campus. And then we talked about him last year a little bit. We were thinking that he might go pro. Like, is there a chance that he might not even go to Auburn? And so you do get him to campus, and you see this in fall ball, and you're like, hey, this could help the Auburn lineup. The Auburn lineup's we're gonna hit. That's not what we're questioning coming into the season. Auburn's gonna hit. We have the pieces in the lineup. This is just another guy that could protect those big sticks in your lineup where maybe opposing pitchers can't pitch around those guys like a an Ike Irish and things like that, man. Like a Cade Ballou or anything.
Yeah.
Those big sticks, man. You got to throw them strikes because you got guys like Rembert they're looking to attack. And you saw him with that swing right there. I mean, just taking the ball, letting it get deep and hitting it the other way, not trying to do too much. In today's game of baseball, if you kind of feel like a lot of kids, man, they want to pull everything. They want to try to hit bombs to left field. Great piece of hitting there. I really enjoyed watching that clip. But I think, you know, you see Auburn put up these runs, and the bats are there. The bats are there. Auburn's going to swing it well. You know what you bring back from last year's team. And then the recruiting has been there, and you're already seeing freshmen step up. Then you went into the transfer portal, like some of the arms that you mentioned earlier. You get some of those out of big time SEC programs. You attack the University of Florida, a consistent Omaha traveler. I mean, they stay in Omaha, and so you go down there and you get you some arms, and you get guys that have played a lot of college baseball. And this isn't last year. Last year we played Louisiana Tech in a fall ball classic. Not any shade to La Tech in their program, but this one had a little different feeling. You're playing a team that's an historical baseball program. All right, you're playing a team that goes to NCAA tournaments every year. You're playing a program that hosts NCAA super regionals to get to Omaha. That's what this fall ball classic was. So I can't sell this one short, man. I think this was a dominant performance by Auburn, and to see Ike Irish not even just falling off, man. Like he's still been that guy for Auburn, and enjoy it this year, y'all. Look, take it all in because this is the last season you will see Ike in an Auburn uniform. So cherish it. Um, Embrace it, remember it, take it all in because he is going to Major League Baseball and he's getting drafted and he's going to make a lot of money one day. So enjoy him and Coop. Praying for you, man. Get back out there, get healthy. We know what this Auburn lineup is going to look like. We know it's going to be powerful. But Dustin, who started game one and who started game two on the mound for the Auburn Tigers?
Well, real quick, I'll make a point about catcher. Ike is going to be gone,
Yep.
but Chase
Yep.
Froelich,
Yep.
he's a freshman from Peachtree City, Georgia. He had a couple of nice ABs. He ripped in game one when maybe it was the first or second inning. So right when we're getting started, atmosphere at its peak, all that. He rips an RBI over the second baseman's head. He looked nice. He had like a couple good at bats, and then Cale Strickland. Big time recruit, big time recruit. He looked very good as well. So with Ike going, and you might see Ike play some outfield this year. There's some questions about his ability to play catcher at the next level. So it's gonna you got depth back there behind the plate. I will say that.
So I don't think Ike is going to catch this year. Um, I
Well, yeah,
think I
wouldn't be
think
surprised.
yeah, I don't think he's. You might see him in right like you did last year. He might catch here and there, maybe a double header or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kel Strickland is probably going to be your starting catcher. If I had to guess, I just think you could use Ike out in the outfield, have his arm out there, hosing guys at the plate, things like that. I think that's kind of why he got pushed out there a little bit last year, and you had some struggles out there as well. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to catch this year much.
Yeah, so I was actually in the booth with a guy that works for covers for D1,
Hmm.
and then there was over 30 scouts there as well. So I heard some of their conversations throughout the game, and they all agree that Ike Irish is a first round at bat at the plate. He's a
Yeah.
first round pick at the plate. It's just figuring out what you can do, where he's going to fit in the field. So you know but he can play designated hitter until you figure that out. That's the way I see it. Like he's such a dog at the plate. But yeah, I agree with you, Blake. I mean, when you see a guy like Cale Strickland, he just seems comfortable back there.
Hmm.
Like that probably is the move.
Ike probably needs to pick up the first base mitt, and he
Mm.
played it well. Um, he's played it well at Auburn. He hasn't played it much, but he did get some run there, and I think that's probably going to be the position that he looks to at the next level. And then they might stick him out in the outfield. I just don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't look at him as a major league
He
outfielder.
misplayed a ball. He misplayed a ball. It
Yeah.
wasn't an error, but it was. You could have called it one.
Yeah, I don't see him as a major league outfielder. So I think first base might be the move for Ike at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you asked the question about starting pitching, so game one was Cade. Was
Yep.
Cade Fisher, and he performed well. I would have liked to have seen him just get that final out and let him pitch the 2 innings, but I get it. They were trying to get everybody in. And
Yep.
then game 2 was Samuel Dutton, and that's a new name. Samuel Dutton is from LSU, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Transfer from LSU. He struggled, Blake. He struggled. He was really
Yeah.
the only pitcher on the day that I could say for Auburn that just didn't look clean. There was one other guy, a new name, way down the depth chart that came in game 2 that wasn't able to get any outs. But Samuel Dutton, the transfer right-handed pitcher from LSU. He had a rough day. Didn't look good. Struggled to find the strike zone. One performance in fall ball, but you bringing over a guy like that, and is he? Are you gonna want? Is he gonna be in the starting rotation? Like that's the question for Auburn, right? Is we've got to get this Friday, Saturday, Sunday starter situation figured out. And right now, Blake, I'm looking at it, and I don't know.
That's the question mark for this year's team, right?
Yeah,
Is pitching, and so you definitely need Cade to show up, transferred from Florida, and because you lose a Chase also, all right, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying that as a knock to Chase. I just think maybe the time had ran out on that whole entire experiment.
yeah, I think so.
So I think you kind of needed to move on. But you still got guys like Connor McBride. Where does he fit in? You still got guys on that staff that are very talented, and they do have some run in the arm for that pitching staff. And so these transfers. That's what I really want to see is I want to see consistency, not a lot of walks, finding the zone. Look, my biggest thing with Auburn is I would rather you get touched up instead of walking 5, 6, 7 people. All right.
Yeah,
That's what I don't want to see. I tell Dustin this all the time, y'all. I would rather you go out there and they paint us line to line and just beat the shit out of us.
right.
I'm fine with losing like that. I'm fine with losing like that. But the way we lost last year, didn't sit right with me because we would be up 4-1 in a game and give up 8 runs, and all they would have was 3 hits, and the rest of it would be either errors or walks. And I hate losing like that. So um, I want to see consistency. I want to see guys like Murphy and guys that got run last year and pitched in some key situations. I want to see those guys back and throwing strikes, man. You're not going to win in this league if you don't throw strikes. If you're not competitive, you're not going to win many games. People will make you pay in the Southeastern Conference. So um, I just want to see guys be competitive, and I think last year it hurt last year, man. The
Yes.
last season really hurt. Um, you're 7-23. That shouldn't sit right with anybody in that clubhouse. Shouldn't sit right with Butch. It shouldn't sit right with any Auburn baseball fan. This just not the way that it's not the season that we expected, and it's not the season we expect this year, especially when you've been to Omaha twice with Butch Thompson, and this year you're wanting to try to get back at least to a super regional. You want to host a regional at Plainsman Park. We've made the the accommodations to the park where we're one of the best parks in the Southeastern Conference. I mean, it looks just absolutely amazing every time they show it. Uh, get us there. Get us there. Be a top competitor in the SEC. No more 7-23, Dustin.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Dylan Watts in the short amount of time he pitched, he looked good.
Yeah.
It could be a name to watch. Um, man, it just feels to me like a guy like Carson Myers, like you got to step up, big dog.
Yep.
You got to step up and be a guy that we can put out there in the rotation and get a win on during the weekend. So, but yeah, Blake. I mean, it's fall ball. It's hard to look at it and take too much from it,
Yep.
especially when pitchers are only pitching an inning and a half at the most. But the talent's there. I will say this: the one thing that I was impressed with was we definitely won. We definitely won the juice contest. Like
Yeah.
that dugout was fired up. They wanted to be there. They were chirping all day. They were loud. They were excited. It didn't matter that it was a 7 inning fall ball doubleheader and that it
Love
wasn't
that.
going to count for anything. And that was one thing that me and you were really kind of hard on last year. Was like, where's the fire from this team? I think they got some young guys in there that kind of lit a spark. So, well, we'll see how that translates in the season. So, yeah, man, a lot of talent at the plate, Blake. We got a whole lot of bats and hitting's not going to be a problem. I think we
Yeah.
got a lot of guys that can make plays on the base paths and
Hmm.
steal bases and make things happen that way. And it was a pretty clean. We made one error. I misplayed a ball in the outfield. Defensively, it looked clean though.
Yeah.
Again, the Eric Gavea get out there at third base, really really flashing the glove. Eric Snow did some good things. So yeah, man, there's a lot of potential, dude. A lot of potential. I like what I saw.
Love that, man. There's a lot of promise for this baseball team this year. The transfers that we did bring in, like I said, the recruiting class. Uh, I think this team can compete. I don't see 7-23 in the conference. And we'll talk about it more as we get into baseball season, as football season fades, basketball season picks up. We'll talk more about the Auburn Tigers baseball program, but I think that I'm going to trust Butch Thompson to get this thing on track, and I'm not going to hold it against him for one bad year, Dustin. I think the job he did in the portal. I think we're going to be okay, man. I think we're looking for a promising year. And like I said at the beginning, to go out and to beat Florida State, I know it's fall ball, I know it's 2 7 inning games, but they're no slouch. They're running their guys out there. We're running our guys out there,
Mhm.
and we were playing them in their backyard. So, dominating performance. Proud of these kids, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the Auburn Tigers go out and dominate, and that's what we did, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Great day. Just beautiful. 70 degrees out there, sunny. It felt perfect. Everybody again, did Pensacola just knocked it out the park. One thing that stood out, Butch said in the post game was he said, "I got a team full of guys that know how to win." He said I got a clubhouse full of winners.
Yeah,
And when you're putting together new pieces, portal, high school, all the turnover that is in college baseball in 2024, that stood out to me. That quote stood out to me, and I'm
yeah.
interested to see if that translate into the season. So,
Hey, we all believe in Butch Thompson, man. He's a hell of a coach. He's going to get it right. We're going to get back to winning and competing in regionals, super regionals, and hopefully we can take a damn trip to Omaha,
for
Nebraska.
sure.
That's what I'd really like. How about sitting in that press box one time? I think that'd be pretty damn cool.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we might
But
be able to make that trip.
yeah, man. So, hey, that's it, man. For me, War Damn Eagle.
Yes, sir.
I'm damn proud of these kids for these 2 games. Come out swinging it. Freshmen, sophomores, young guys, old guys, transfer guys, guys with new faces, all that good stuff, man. Damn proud of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Hey, tons of baseball content coming once baseball season comes back around. We still got this football season. Let's see if our Tigers can go on a run. We know that Bruce Pearl is going to put together another 20, 25 plus win basketball season. So good time to subscribe, man. We're right here at 2,000 subs. Help us get over that hump. Share this out on social media. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all Tuesday night, 7 p.m. for the live show. Like always, we're out. War damn.
War damn.